Cuzzin.
Yo, what up, cuz?
What? Look at those glasses.
You like?
Ooh, I like those.
Yeah, I'm trying something new.
No, those are tight. I like them. Very sexy, very sexy. So how you
Thank
doing,
you.
cousin? I just saw you on Saturday. Can I just tell you, it
Yes,
was
you
wonderful
did.
getting to see you on Saturday.
We acted like little children who hadn't been anywhere.
Well, because kind of, sort of, it's kind of how it's been. We've been nowhere. We've been nowhere this last year. So it was good to see you as always.
Yes.
And we had a great time.
Family first.
We had a great time. So y'all, what we did Saturday is our B-side family, we had a photo shoot.
Yes.
And y'all will get to see those pictures soon. Paulina Fadruska did our photos, and she did a fantastic job as always. So y'all will see those in the near future. So keep an eye out. But we had a great time. You got all 8 of us together in one room.
Ooh, wait.
That was trouble.
Wasn't nobody but CJ causing problems.
That's true. CJ is the troublemaker. We call him out. We're gonna call him out. Yes, he is the troublemaker. But we had a good time. A lot of people met for the first time. Man, y'all, that energy, that vibe, it was something that we all needed. It was all needed, all missed, and everything. So, yeah. So shout out to Mr. Prophet for putting that together for us, and just having a good time.
King. Thank you, King. Appreciate
you. You're the best. So, cuz, what's in your cup tonight?
You know what? I'm not going to drink tonight because I'm going to get drunk during the holiday. So I decided to bring
oh, she got her fancy water tonight.
Yeah.
She got her bubbly.
Yeah, I only get that water when my link go through, so that's when I get that water.
Well, I got, by the way, y'all, this mug, which y'all need in your lives, is at the B-Side store. So go to bsidestudios.net.com.
Like somebody got cue cards up. Dot.
Go to the B-Side shop. Look up your favorite cousins here, your Buzzin cousins.
The link is in her bio, y'all. She got it.
Get yourself a mug. I'm drinking some elderberry tea. It's great. I love elderberry tea. It's kind of one of those days. It's just a rainy day. bsidestudios.net. Thank you. I was right the first time. But yeah, check out all the merch. All of the B-Side shows are out there. Sippin' and Trippin', Delish Dior, Buzzin Cousins, everything. Oh, the black tape. I'm sporting that today from our February show. So yeah. So head to the bsidestudios.net website. Go to the B-Side shop. So I decided to match my lips.
I see.
With my shirt.
Girl, is that Purple Rain lipstick?
It's purple. It's called On Royalty.
That is nice.
Thank you. I love it. I love it.
I know the husband love that.
Yes. That's a different show. That's a different show. That's another time for sure.
Oh yeah. That's called that's the Naughty King.
What is your song of the month? We need to go over that. What's your song of the month this month?
Well, this time my song, I don't know the name of the song because it's a naughty song. I just know it's by Megan Thee Stallion and the Baby.
Ooh, Megan with those knees, yeah.
Baby. But you know what? The song is, I don't know. It's just catchy.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it either. If anybody out there knows the name of the song, please.
Yeah, I love the way
let us know.
Yes, for the adults under 35, please name that song.
Well, of course, Mr. Prophet would do that for us. Cash Shit. That's what it's called.
That's it. I love that song, especially the track in the back. I'm like,
You
what
know
is this?
what? I made a mistake on Saturday. So you know how we had the music going and everything for the photo shoot.
Right.
We know King Prophet loves what I call her party tea, Cardi B, because
What?
I don't like her. I don't know why. I just am not a fan.
All right.
But Mr. King Prophet loves her, right? So we have this running joke. I call her party tea. So there was a song playing, and I mistakenly thought it was her, and he looks at me like, "No, that's Meg." I'm like, "Sorry, my bad."
You
Like,
guessed the wrong rapper.
He's telling me, he's saying Queen Cardi put some respect on real estate. Listen,
Oh,
no.
don't mess with King Prophet or B-Side Production. He gonna get you told right.
Listen, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it, when you just I don't know. It's just something like the way she speaks. I'm like, it feels like nails on chalkboard. It just drives me crazy. Listen, my opinion, Buzzin Cousin Chrissy's opinion. Okay, listen, it does not necessarily reflect the popular opinion.
Oh,
However,
that's right. That's a disclaimer.
Maurice and I agree on 99.999% on everything except that.
Right.
Thank God it's not all or nothing with him, because he'd be like, okay, if it was all writing on Cardi, then this ain't gonna work.
You would be in trouble, probably.
I would be in trouble, most likely. So, ladies and gentlemen in our audience, we have a very, very, very special show tonight. A very special show. I'm super excited. Cousin T is very excited. We're dedicating it to Mental Health Awareness Month. So,
yes,
I'm going to throw out a disclaimer. Asterisk, fine print. Okay. I'm apologizing in advance. I'm apologizing in advance to the people in the audience. I'm apologizing in advance to you, Cuz. I'm apologizing in advance to everybody else that's a part of this. I may talk a lot. See, sorry, sidebar, but Mrs. Queen Prophet agrees with me on Cardi B. So, but her name is.
If the Queen don't like it,
See, we're here, Christine. We're here. We have the same name. We have the same. Listen, but anyway, getting back to my apology, I will talk a lot, and I'm apologizing now because I don't want it to seem like I've got diarrhea of the mouth, but I've got so many things. I looked up so much research, just so much, because I know mental health is definitely a passion for both of us. This is something for me, especially over the last year or so, it's just become a very big, prominent thing in my life. And I know not everybody's religious, right? But sometimes you feel like you're being called to lead and to do stuff. And for whatever reason, number one, I love working with youth. And number two, working with youth with mental health. You know what I mean? And I think it has to do with a lot, because I didn't realize that from a child, I was dealing with anxiety and depression, because when you're a kid, you don't think of that stuff.
No, you just think about candy and playing with your friends.
Right. So this has been just an ongoing thing. So I apologize in advance if it feels like I'm doing all this. I don't mean to. And I got questions for T and stuff like that. But I wanted to start it off with and we have two very special guests tonight. So they will be joining us later.
Yes.
They will be joining us later. I'm very excited. Angel and Jackie. So
Angel. Woo. Angel.
She probably didn't know she was going to be serenaded tonight.
Oh, I just happen to like that song and that name. And, the singer is also Angela Winbush. So,
See, Angel. I mean, it's all sorts of things. Yeah. So I wanted to kick it off with this, because we weren't able to hit our moment for mental health last month because we had so much going on and everything like that. But I did want to touch on post-surgical depression. That's a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was a thing until I just recently experienced that from the surgery. So for all of you who may or may not know, I had reconstructive surgery on my on my ankle, on my right ankle, which happens to be my driving ankle. So, you know, that's never a fun thing. And, you know, I was just feeling out of it for a while there. And I'm telling you, I'm going on week 10 of post-op, right? So let's put that into a month perspective. That's 2.5 months. All right. But this injury started at the beginning of March. So I was down all of March, all of April, and pretty much all of May. I just got the clearance yesterday from my surgeon that I can finally drive after 3 months.
Oh my
But, you know,
goodness.
right? Like, you put it into perspective, 3 months and 10 weeks. Like, it's like, oh, 10 weeks is nothing. It doesn't seem like, but then you say months and you're like, wow, that is a long time. Right. And this 10 weeks felt like 10 years. And you don't really feel it, but like when you're an empath, like we are very empathetic people, you and I. One of the things that empaths do not like to do is have to rely on other people to like do things, right? Like, you don't want to have to depend on other people, like to do just everyday things, like to get you a glass of water or to get you a plate of food, right? This forced me to have to do that. And that was really hard. That was really hard.
Yeah,
You know
I know
what I
you
mean?
were sick. Yeah, you were sick. Because when we told you,
Man,
myself and Chrissy Dior were trying to tell you to sit down and relax, you was like, no, I'll be okay.
I'll be fine.
I'm like, look at her hard-headed butt. She will not sit down.
Yeah, and it was just so difficult, and it was lonely. Like, when I kept saying, people come visit me, I was like, seriously, come visit me. Like, I live in a house with my family, but they're in their own rooms. Like, no one just like sits on the couch with me just to keep me company. And it's just so, it became a thing. And so I looked it up, and it actually is a thing, post-surgical depression. And I had posted about it, and other people were relating to it. You know, and it's something that doctors and surgeons are supposed to tell patients, especially patients with a history of depression and anxiety, that this could be, you know, just like a regular risk of surgery. Like, you know, they'll tell you, you know, you could die, right? That's a risk you run to have a surgery. They
might tell you that. Yeah.
They might, but they don't tell you, oh, with your history of depression, you may also experience this, because I was looking at the statistics, and it's holding steady at about 20 to 25% of patients suffer from post-surgical depression, depending on the type of surgery they had, you know? So, and imagine if you're by yourself, you know, I think about Alice. I think about our friend Alice. She had her arm broken and she had to have that surgery, and she's by herself. You know, who was there to help her? Right. You know, and
she did suffer. She suffered. We talked about on the phone, and I came by to visit her a couple of times, but she wasn't her normal bubbly self. And one of my high school sisters, Kathy Tate, she's had surgery on both knees. And so she just had the surgery on the right knee just last week. Yeah. And so now she's back in that, you know, that post-op funk, you know, and I mean, she has help, you know, her children, and her wife, Regea, but at the same time, it's just a feeling that, you know, nobody understands. You know, you are like, oh my God, I gotta ask somebody to help me to the bathroom.
Right. Exactly.
It's like, I gotta ask somebody help me brush my, I mean, it's just, it's wild.
It's like, I'm gonna burden these people when I don't even like to do that. You know, and then people are like, oh, just enjoy it. And it's like, but I can't, you know, because it's like, that's a lot, you know, but we did it. We got through it, and here we are. So, but I wanted to touch on that. And, you know, I wanted to get into some more stuff. So anxiety disorders, because we know we can suffer with depression and anxiety. I mean, there's many different mental, I don't like to say mental illnesses, but ailments. We'll go with mental ailments that you have in the mental health, you know, subject. So did you know, Cuzzin? And these are current statistics here. Anxiety disorders are most common, affecting 40 million adults in the US, 18 and older. So that's over 18% of the population.
Oh my God. No, I didn't know.
Yeah. About 8% of teens ages 13 to 18 have an anxiety disorder, with symptoms starting at 6 years old.
Oh my God, 6?
Yeah, 6. And women are twice as likely as men to get an anxiety disorder in their lifetime. And it's not uncommon for someone with an anxiety disorder to also suffer from depression, because they kind of go hand in hand. But this one really got me, because like I said, I really like working with the youth and everything. It said anxiety affects 25% of children between 13 and 18. And if it's left untreated, they run a higher risk of doing poorly in school, missing out on important social experiences, and they will engage in substance abuse. So, and this most current statistic, this is just from April of this year. So from April 28th through May 10th of 2021, around 22% of U.S. adults reported symptoms of depressive disorder. In like just that span of time, 22%. That's a huge number. That's a huge number.
Yeah, that's pretty up there. I mean, if you don't do the research, you wouldn't know. And to me, that's a large number.
That is a large number. And going back to the kids, like, I know a lot of us as adults like to just write off the kids. Like, oh, myself included, when I was growing up, my grandmother raised me. She came from the Middle East. So, she came over, she was independent, single mom, raising her granddaughter, strong woman, like, no one's gonna tell me nothing. So when I would have emotions, it's like, I could feel it, but not too long, or you're fine, or brush it off, or whatever. So it's like, how am I supposed to deal with that? So as that progresses, so parents, relatives, teachers, anyone who's working with kids, take them seriously. Take those emotions seriously. Have them talk it out. Because, I mean, if it's starting at 6 years old, that's like what?
Yeah.
First grade? You know what I mean?
It is. If it's not kindergarten, right? First grade.
Right. So, it's such a thing. And if we can tackle it when they're younger, then, as they get older, they'll have the right ways to work with it and cope, I looked up some celebrities, mainly comedians, and this is where you're going to come in, where I got a question for you. Okay. So, I looked up, so Owen Wilson, he's an actor. He struggles with depression. Yes, with the crooked nose. He actually attempted suicide not too long ago, a few years back, unsuccessfully, thank God. But
I think he did it several times, I think.
Yeah. Then we look at Chris Farley and John Belushi. They OD'd because addiction is another thing. Addiction is another aspect of mental health. Richard Jeni was a stand-up comedian. He also committed suicide. But of course, the one that I think shocked the world was Robin Williams. I think that one nobody was expecting, because it's like, it's Robin Williams. He's a funny guy. He makes people laugh. But, you find that you hear more and more that comedians are the ones that end up struggling the most. So my question to you is, being that you're a comedian, you're Miss Comedian, Queen of Chicago, like, how have your experiences affected you, either with your stand-up comedy, or have they affected you, or has that affected you with anything, with depression, anxiety, or whatever? Like, just from your perspective as a comedian.
Okay, so with comedy, we are known to not have filters. So we typically say what you're thinking, whether it's making fun of religion, making fun of, common things. I'm trying to be politically correct, because I don't want to say anything to offend anybody, but
no, this is Buzzin Cousins. This is all.
Oh, okay.
Let it loose, babe. Let it go. Let it go.
It's just it's a lot of areas out there. And sometimes you will maybe perhaps get depressed. I looked at the stories of Steve Harvey and Bernie Mac and Kevin Hart, and like now, Monique, one of the comedians, one of the best female comedians that I know, that's out there, and her name is out there, being blackballed for speaking up, for being a African American female and not deserving the salary that she deserves. Because I don't know about you, but I know myself. If somebody says, Monique got a show, I'm going because Monique is funny as hell.
Yeah, she is.
So you get depressed with. I just want to say, it just depends. It depends on what your life is like. Like sometimes you might make it a show. Sometimes you might not get picked for a show. Believe it or not, there are a lot of comedians here in Chicago. Period. On the north side. But comedy can be a dirty game. It can become cliquish. It can become I don't want to say feministic, but sometimes you'll think it's just all about the guys and not the female community.
Misogynistic.
Yes, that's the nistic I was looking for. Because there's so many nistics out here. Optimistic, pessimistic. I'm like, which nistic did I want?
I got you.
It's a lot of instincts out here. My favorite instinct is great mystic. But the thing what we do, well, I speak for myself. What I do when I do my comedy, I am really sharing with you all what goes on in my head. And sometimes there's oh my God, there's, hey, am I a horrible mother? You question yourself. You have grown children, you become a grandparent. You question yourself if you're married, did I fail? And so we use the comedy, at least I do, as a release.
I was just going to ask you that. Do you use comedy as a way, as like a therapy, a way to like kind of like a cathartic kind of thing, just to release it all? Is that like what you do to I don't want to say cope, but I guess that would kind of be like what it is.
For me, it's therapy. And I guess what makes me feel so good at the end of a set, like I did a party this weekend. It was for a birthday party for Cassandra Henderson out in Lansing. And I guess it might have been maybe 65 or 70 people there. And she has a huge family on her mom and her dad's side. And, of course, all those people I don't know, but one of her cousins, well, a group of her cousins that came up and they were like, you are so real. You just keep everything 100. I love that. I love you. You are, you saying what I'm thinking. And that's what is therapeutic for me. When a person can say they can relate. That's what some of us, some of us as comics, we try to, relate. And it's a struggle. It's not always about talking about people. Like I won't do that. That's not a part of my comedy. I won't, do the dozens and all that. And of course people have guns now, so they're shooting to kill, and they're recording it. So I don't.
They're not throwing tomatoes anymore.
No more fist fights or no who curses the loudest. It's okay. Yeah, when I get in the parking lot, I'm finna cap her off. So for me, it's therapeutic. In Robin Williams' case, he probably had been clinically depressed for so long,
for a really long time. He was.
Yeah, it was no way out. I started the comedy, number one, because I was a single child. My mother's, she had, my brother, but I was carrying around in my mind, why did she leave me? Why did why did she keep him? And is that her favorite, or was I not good enough? Did she not want me? And then I had to deal with, okay, these are my grandparents. Oh my God, I can't do anything. I can't breathe. All I can do is sit on the porch. My life is horrible. I can't go nowhere, hang with my friends. So the depression can start young. I don't think I had it at 6, but I just know I kept looking at the other people who would be like, mommy. And, even though my grandparents, the way I was raised, Thank you so much. In honor of Harry and Ada Johnson, I was
Mhm.
able to call them mommy and daddy, but it
Mhm.
just wasn't that same. When you with your mom, you
Yeah.
just yeah. So
Yeah.
I'd be depressed about that, and then I was depressed because my father, he was suffering from depression and he was an alcoholic. So
Mm,
yeah, and I just
yeah.
kept wondering why can't he be the daddy? You
Right.
like you
Yeah.
said, pay attention to the children, because it's a lot in our mind,
It's a
and
lot.
we're
It's heavy.
oh my God, I was
Yeah.
mad. I was mad.
Yeah.
So, and then I got teased a lot about being light complexion. The
Mhm.
kids would call me, white hunky, white girl, Casper, the ghost,
Mhm.
just yeah. So it was a lot that I was dealing with,
Yeah.
but I pulled through.
Yeah.
And I would do things, start cracking jokes. And once I see that I could make people laugh, at such a young age, it was like, okay, that's what I want to do. I want to
Yeah.
do that for a living, and
You know,
now you
yeah.
can act, that's another, it's a lot of actors and actresses too,
Oh, yeah.
that
A lot.
suicide, and
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
the young guy who played the Joker, young career,
Heath
but
Ledger. Yeah.
yes.
His was an accidental overdose. His was an
Yeah.
accidental overdose, but yes, him playing that role. I remember when they interviewed him, he said that he had gone in such a dark place because that
Mhm.
character was just
It was
dark.
something else.
I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, I think the only person that really made it a light character was probably Jack Nicholson. Honestly,
Yeah. Yeah.
Jack Nicholson. But then, like, as you got on with the Jokers, like the Heath Ledger and then Joaquin Phoenix, I mean, it's like,
Yo, yeah.
like you really don't realize, like, okay, the Joker is really like, whew, talk
Yeah,
about he's
he was
got
a
he's
sick
got
so and so,
mental
yeah.
health stuff for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, that actually, I remember when Heath Ledger died, I had just gotten my wisdom teeth pulled and we were leaving and it came on the
Mm.
radio, and I think his way of coping with it was taking medications, and his combination of what he took, just he died, his
Yeah,
heart
yeah.
stopped, and it was very, very sad, because honestly, I thought, in my opinion, cousin Chrissy's opinion, I think for me, Heath Ledger was like the best Joker to me, and I could have seen him continue on, but it just it's just so sad, and it just happens younger and younger, and yeah, and with, like, you getting back to Robin Williams, yes, he was clinically depressed. But just like that antidepressant commercial where the lady's got the smiley face on a stick,
Yeah.
he
Mhm.
was wearing a mask. He was wearing his mask to smile, to make people laugh, because I think one of the quotes that actually came from him is he knows what it feels like to feel down, and he doesn't want other people to feel that way, but he was struggling with that, and then he had just gotten like I think a Parkinson's diagnosis, shortly before he committed suicide. And I think that kind of just was it for him,
Yeah, that
sadly.
was
Um,
the end for him. Yeah.
I think that shocked the world. Like, it's like, it's Robin Williams. Like, but it's funny because it's always the people you don't think would do something like that do it.
Yeah, I didn't see that
Um,
coming. I didn't see that
no,
coming. I remember
no.
growing up, I would walk around the house. So that's the other. It's almost as if I don't know. Maybe you want to call us a little crazy or psychotic, but I would walk around the house and I would be doing shuts but nano. I would do
Oh,
all of
Mark
this
and
stuff.
Mindy.
Yeah, and it was
Yes,
like,
Mark and
yeah,
Mindy was
it
great.
was like this is
Nanu,
so
nanu.
great. Yeah, I
Yeah,
loved, the
yeah,
impressions and the noise and the,
yeah,
just and I
yeah,
was like, wow. So when I heard it, I was like, what?
yeah,
Feel
yeah,
this self.
yeah.
It's just
It was a shocker. And I know we'll touch on this when it's Suicide Prevention Month. I believe that's in September, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll have another show dedicated to that and we could talk more on that. But I actually did some more research. I'm telling you, because like I just like kind of did my statistics, my research, just to kind of get our conversation started, because I did want to talk about our Black community when it comes to mental health. A lot of things I researched really, it really broke my heart, to be honest with you. One of the things I saw was only 1 in 3 Black Americans who could benefit from mental health treatment receive it. And that's because of lack of access to culturally competent care, which then results in treatment being poor, that they receive poor. They're less frequently included in research, misdiagnosed, and then there's just a lack of willingness to seek the care voluntarily.
Yeah, that's the biggest. That's the biggest one. Because amongst Blacks, it's we are labeled. It's embarrassing.
I was just going to get to that actually,
Yeah.
because I did. It said in 1990s, the best decade, in my opinion, and I think Maurice Prophet will agree with me, that the 90s were the best decade because we talk about it all the time. But this opinion poll was taken, and these statistics have not changed. But in the 1990s opinion poll, 63% of African Americans believed depression was a personal weakness, and only 31% believed it was a health problem. Other studies show the Black community more inclined to say mental illness is associated with shame and embarrassment, or they'll hide the illness. They also believe that since they've survived so much adversity, no one has a right to tell them that there's something wrong with them. And then we also see that most Black women hold less of a stigma in regards to mental illness because they have a better understanding of it, right? And this other statistics I found, so Black Americans are 20% more likely to experience serious mental health problems than the general population. Let that sink in.
Yeah, that's what, about 1.2 of the world's population. So, yeah.
And Black youth exposed to violence are at a greater risk for PTSD by over 25%.
Wow, that's 1/4 of the world. Yeah, that's those are a lot of numbers.
Those are, yeah. And it's like when you see them in numbers, it really is eye-opening, because it's just like you can hear about it, you could talk about it, but like, and you know, I don't know if you've watched, and here it is. I'm gonna lay it all out. For our gentlemen who are watching, I feel that they're getting the short end of the stick when it comes to mental health, because I feel that men are brought up to believe that they cannot have feelings, that they cannot cry, that they have to be these strong guys, that, you know, you can't cry, you can't have feelings because then you're weak, then you're a sissy, then you're this, you're that. That is just messed up thinking.
Yeah, it's really out there.
Because just like Maurice just said, we carry too much internal trauma on a daily. And that is so true, because like you're going to carry all that inside. Then what is your escape? Where's the outlet? Okay. Let's take it to this level. I'm going to go there. Active shooters, mass shooters. Okay. Who's holding that gun? I'm taking color out of it. I'm putting men. A man is usually the one holding the gun when it comes to like mass shootings, because they holding it all in. How are they releasing it? They're going to release it by either being violent, getting addicted to drugs or alcohol, finding some other way, you know, to get rid of these emotions, because that's how they're brought up. And that is so effed up.
It is.
Men, my men, as a woman, please, we love when men are sensitive. We love when you can feel. You're human. At the end of the day, y'all are human, and you're allowed to feel and just let it out. If you have to go cry, go cry. If you need to scream into a pillow, scream into a pillow. You know what I mean? It's like the society has just put such a such this, like, I don't know, this complex on men. Like if you show any kind of emotion, then you're not a man. And that's a bunch of bullshit. You're more of a man. You're more of a man to me if you show me that you have emotions, that you have feelings, that you hurt, that you have all that. You're more of a man to me that way than being machismo. I can't stand machismo, guys.
Oh,
because it's like,
gosh.
it's like, honey, no. You know what I mean? There's so
those
much.
Those guys are, oh my God, they're sick. And the only time they tell their real feelings is when they finish drinking, or probably indulging in smoking CBD or marijuana or something. But I that is, oh my God, that is like the biggest this guy that just, oh, I'm tough. I don't have any feelings. I don't have to cry.
Listen.
I'm Superman.
Yeah, no, you're not. No, you're not. You're human, baby. At the end of the day, you're human. You have feelings and you need to release them. And if it's not talking to another friend, if it's not talking to somebody, then find a way to do it and to just be peaceful with it. You know what I mean? Because it's like, how else are you getting it out? And then in my mind,
you got women like that too, though, now.
Right. But I'm gonna ask you this question. And this comes to me because it's out there that, of course, women are more likely to suffer from depression and anxiety. Now, I find that to be two pieces to that. Number one, is it because we're supposed to be the weaker sex, right? So we're allowed to have those feelings and those are like validated, like, oh, well, yeah, okay, you're supposed to feel that way because you're a girl. And yeah, you need to cry it out, whatever. And that's why it's acceptable. Or is it because women speak up more and face it, whereas men who are dealing with it keep it inside? And I wonder, if men were more vocal, would it still be more women, or would it be more balanced, that it's equal between women and men suffer from mental health issues? You know what I'm saying?
I'm thinking, I'm still thinking that it would be more women. And the only reason why I say that is because if the woman doesn't uplift the man to make him to feel like he's doing a great job, he's a great husband, he's a great father, or son, you're great at football, you're great at rapping, you're great at archery or bowling, that man will hold it in if he does not get that approval from his mom or his daughter, or his dad for that
And
matter.
see, and that's where I kind of have, like, I'm kind of like, and I guess maybe it's just me, like, why can't it be an equal partnership in that respect? You know what I mean? Like, bring each other up together. You know what I mean? Like, the man, and maybe it's just the old fat, I guess, but then but then how and when do we break that cycle? You know what I'm saying?
If you're not talking, you understand what I mean? You can't. The thing of that's why, like, okay, great example. You're married, okay? I was speaking to somebody the other day. You have to learn that there's a give and take, okay? Mm-hmm. So there might be some things that you might do that your husband can't stand. He might be, oh my God, I hate when she crack her knuckles or something, and you might
tell me.
Yeah. But the point is, he expresses it to you. You might laugh at it, you might get mad at it, but you don't make a big issue of it. Right. And that's part of the reason why some marriages fail. You have some couples, I know a couple right now, they're supposed to be getting a divorce, 1 minute they hot at each other, the next minute they call each other out the name, and I think both of them are so inwardly suffering from something. Well, I know the husband is, that's depressing them, and they don't have anybody to express and talk about it, but they keep wanting to outdo each other. I'm gonna one up you if you do this. I'm gonna one up you if you do that. Instead of basically saying, I don't agree with this.
Right. It's communication.
Yeah. And you have women do it. I know a young lady right now. she's so depressed. She doesn't even know how to even talk about it. She's in denial. She'll just work. She works for a major transportation company, and she also has another side gig on the side. She's a stylist, and she's so depressed right now. She takes her depression, anger out on people who love her, and for the people who don't love her, that's where her attention goes. It's like she's seeking out hurt. Why would you seek hurt when you're hurting yourself? But that's what people do. They feed off of negativity. They feed off of I don't want you to know, but I'm going to put up this front that I'm okay when they're not.
It's a mess.
And I've heard, and I've heard both of them say, "Oh my God, I'm a mess."
Yeah.
And but have they got counseling? No.
Right. Well, really quick, because I know we got to start bringing our guests in, but really quick, I have 2 TV shows. Have you ever seen or heard of A Million Little Things and This Is Us?
A Million Little Things.
On ABC.
I haven't watched that yet. Okay. This Is Us, my favorite.
Okay. So I'm going to touch on A Million Little Things really quick, okay? Romani Malco. He's an actor. He was on 40-Year-Old Virgin. He plays Rome on the show Million Little Things, okay?
Yes, I know that.
Right? So Million Little Things basically follows this group of friends where their main friend, who's like basically the glue that held them all together, commits suicide, right? And so now they're trying to figure out how to live life. Well, in this show, Rome, played by Romani, struggles with depression. Like at that same time that his friend was committing suicide, he had a mouthful of pills in his mouth and then decided to spit them out. Now, he went to his mom first. Okay. Both of his parents are Black parents. His mom was like understanding. But when he told his dad about it, his dad was very old school, like, and just tried to brush it off. Like, there's no such thing as that, right? But he held his ground. He stuck it out. Now with This Is Us, Randall, who's played by Sterling K. Brown, who we also love, he's struggling with depression now in the show because now everything is hitting him. They've brought up the show to like George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, everything going on, right? So now he's dealing with the depression, but he was raised by adoptive white parents. So he basically treated it like this is a thing. And his wife was very supportive and he went and got treatment. But then he also realized that his therapist was, he was seeing a white woman therapist. And when they started bringing in the Black Lives Matter thing and the George Floyd story, he told his therapist, I need to see someone that looks more like me. Because they'll understand me better. Right? Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So it's just so different. Like you see these 2 shows and you see both perspectives of, how a Black man would handle being depressed. And guys, we love you and we want you here. And you need to just, hey, if anything, reach out to one of us. We'll listen. We are here for you. Okay?
My phone is open 24 hours. Call me if you need someone to talk to. Call me.
Yes. And so with that, we are going to bring in our first guest. Our first guest, she wears many, many hats, many hats. But for tonight, we're going to talk about her hat where she is an author, a grief counselor, suicide prevention coach, etc. So everybody, please welcome Miss Angel Simmons to the Buzzin Cousins podcast. Woo!
Yes, she is.
There she is. Hello, Miss Angel.
Good evening.
Sorry, I told you we was going to get a little wordy, a little, chatty up in here. We didn't mean to keep you waiting in the green room.
Listen, you all didn't need special guests. You are doing this thing. She got her book of statistics. I don't tell you.
You thought you had Googled it, didn't you, Angel?
Google is my best friend. So, but welcome to the show, Angel. I love that you're here. Thank you for joining us for Mental Health Awareness Month. Tell us everything. All of the hats, not all of the hats. Well, maybe all of the hats, but talk about you. Tell everybody about you. Introduce yourself.
Well, okay. Well, you know me. I am an author. I've written 2 books in the last few years. I'm working on 3 and 4. Oh, you got that? Oh, I got that
Mhm.
too.
Oh, okay, here we go.
No fear. Mine are packed away.
Right.
Good.
So, Love's Great Design is a weekly devotional, uncovering the power and purpose of human relationship. Target of Love is about surviving narcissistic abuse, a journey back to Love's Great Design. So, those are the 2 that are out now that you can get on angelsimmons.com.
Yes, and we'll be sure to have that information
You can
on
go
our
on
site for you guys to go.
Love.
Yeah.
I have been a certified grief and loss coach for over 5 years. I've worked in suicide prevention since 2014. Um, I don't know. It's a lot of hats. This month is particularly interesting because of all the hats I wear, and we are still somewhat on lockdown. For those of us
Yeah.
that are in Chicago, I know you all, you suburbanites, you all are free to roam about the country, but we're
Mhm.
still pretty much on lockdown. And
Yeah.
one of the things that COVID has shown me, one, my appreciation for isolation. Um, Isolation has been quite healthy for me.
Mhm.
Also, just looking at the uptick in suicide, in a mental illness, in diagnoses since COVID started.
Mhm.
People don't generally know how to deal with isolation. Um, it is a scary thing to face yourself.
Very, very scary.
Yeah. And that is probably the hardest part for that's the hardest part for a lot of young people, a lot of these 20 somethings and 30 somethings who are social. They're
Mhm.
social beings. They're out, they're partying, they're clubs, they're bars, they're
Yeah.
meet and greets and gatherings, and us 40 something else we're very comfortable being at home. So,
Yeah.
so
Well,
it's
now you're bringing up the young crowd, and we actually had a question. Maurice had put out a question earlier. Do you feel like it's getting better now with the younger generation? I feel like I see more 20-year-olds being more conscious of the importance of mental health preservation. Do you think there's a generational shift occurring?
I do. I really do. And I was going to answer, but I knew it was for you guys. I definitely see a shift happening with the 20 something and 30 somethings year olds seeking out help. There is still very much a stigma
Oh
attached
yeah.
to mental
Mhm.
health, mental illness, counseling, therapy. There's still a great stigma, but it has become more commonplace, I think, in a lot of workplaces to where it is more normal to take a
Mhm.
mental health day. It is more normal to take a few days off to get yourself together, and our employers
Mhm.
have allowed this.
Mhm.
So it's becoming more commonplace for this particular generation that we're talking about to
Yeah.
seek out help,
Mhm.
to ask for, to send up a few
Mhm.
SOS.
I agree. I feel like the stigma is, I mean, I feel there's still a stigma, like you said, but I feel like it's not as prominent as it was, let's say, even 5 years ago. I think
Oh,
it's
absolutely
definitely
not.
starting to shift for
And I
sure.
really think the biggest shift has been since the pandemic, because we're noticing this uptick. We were talking
Mhm.
about all of these statistics are greater. Any statistics you had in 2019 about suicide or mental health or anything like that is vastly different in
Mhm.
2021, because there
Mhm.
was so much of an increase last year in
Yeah.
suicides, particularly in those 20 something year old age groups. So I think it's becoming more common that people seek out help. And it's also easier because there's a lot of online resources. So
Mhm.
people don't have to go to the doctor. They don't have
That's
to
true.
necessarily schedule an appointment now.
Mhm.
They can do talk therapy. They can Zoom in
Right.
counseling
Right.
sessions. So it's a little more private than it
Mhm.
is, going in and out of the doctor's office. Because I'm
Right.
sure, 50 years ago, there were only so many doctor's offices
Right.
that you could go
Right.
to. where
Right.
people wouldn't know that it was a counselor,
Right.
psychotherapist, a psychologist that you're going to see. Now they can do it online. They can do it by their, with their phones. They can do it from the laptop, and nobody has to know that they're getting treatment. So I think that shift is happening because technology has changed, and
Yes.
especially because of the pandemic and where we are right now.
And how do you feel like with technology, especially with social media? I know. How do you feel that's changed things with the mental health field? I think I have my opinions, but I'd like to hear yours.
Have you watched The Social Dilemma?
I have not yet. I know it's been on my list for a while. Okay, Angel, I got a sidebar. Angel and I speak almost on a daily basis, and she has given me like this list of things to watch like a month ago, and I have had nothing but time. And have I done it? No. I decided to binge watch Family Matters. But anyway, go ahead. Continue.
Oh my gosh. Give her a spanking, Angel.
Listen, take a look at The Social Dilemma, and I love how it sheds light on this society and our dependence on our devices, our dependence on likes on social media. There's one quote, and I'm trying to get it right, but it's something along the lines of when Facebook was created, or when the like button was created, it was never meant to be a status symbol. It was never meant to be what it has become. Humans in general were not created to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Judged. We weren't created for that, to receive judgment every hour on the hour.
Right.
That's not how we're built.
Right.
But this is what social media does for us. We're living by likes. And if you look at this documentary, there's one particular story where it's showing a young girl, and if her picture is up on social media, if it's been up for an hour and she doesn't have so many likes, she'll take it down and repost it. I know adults.
Wow.
I know adults. I have former co-workers who would do that. If they posted a photo at lunchtime and by 2:00 it didn't have at least 10 likes, they delete it and they would repost it at a different time. It's like, seriously? But this is what social media has done. And don't get me wrong, it is a great tool. We're on it. We're on StreamYard.
Yeah, right.
So it's a tool to be used in a certain way. But for people who depend on that affirmation, they depend on that, whatever
the attention fan,
the attention that they're getting, it adds to their depression.
Yeah.
Adds to anxiety. If you're watching your phone and trying to get to 20 likes, how many people are watching? We need at least 50 people watching. It's like you can't live your life by that, especially if you are on social media for a purpose. It's business, it's media. You're trying to get a message out. You need to get the message out. Yeah. You can't watch the ticker taker all the time. But
did you see that now Facebook and Instagram? I read this today. Facebook and Instagram now have the option for you to turn that off so that you don't see all your likes and all of that. So you don't have to look at that. Did you see that? I kind of wonder how many people are actually going to do that, though.
How many people actually know about it? How many people actually turn their notifications off, period? How many people turn Messenger off? I turn it off every day.
I know by 10 p.m. she's done.
It's off. My phone stays on because I work in suicide prevention. My phone stays on 24/7, and my mother, is 40 minutes from me, so I need my phone. But social media goes off, so I can go off. I need to go to sleep, and not be getting alerts and notifications. But this documentary that they put together, I love it so much because these are the creators. These are the CEOs. These are the designers of all of these platforms: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube,
Snapchat,
Twitter, Snapchat. These are the designers and the creators saying that's not what we created it for.
Right.
These are the people that left those positions because it turned into something other than what they invented it for.
Right.
Watch it. Go and watch it, and then go watch The Minimalist. Go watch that. Watch that.
We talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about, so June 1st, right, is Narcissist Awareness Day. So
World
Narcissist
Abuse
Awareness.
Day.
Thank you. I know it was a lot of words and it was in there. So this book, if you guys, we're going to post all of her information on where to get it, but this book is amazing and it needs to be read. It's not very long. Let's see. It's what? 60 pages, 64 pages. You could read this really quick. So Angel, tell us about this book and your inspirations.
Well, this is a collection of 15 stories from men and women who have experienced different levels of narcissistic abuse. It gives you signs to look for. It gives you survival tips. It gives you resources to get help, especially if you've dealt with domestic violence or anything like that. It gives you resources to get help. There's a powerful prayer at the end of the book. But these stories are real, true life stories from people I know who were kind enough and transparent enough to share those stories with me. Some of them will have you weeping. Some of them you like, oh my God, I know that didn't happen. The one thing about being involved in narcissistic abuse is typically you don't know when you're in it. You don't know that's what it is. You don't know that's what it is, and you don't necessarily know how to get out or that you even need to, because it's so much, it puts the blinders on. So this book kind of removes those blinders, shows you what you need to see, gives you the bigger picture. It describes all the characters that are playing parts in this toxic relationship, situationship, as I call it. But it gives you all of the necessary tools you need to say, you know what? I think this is where I am.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, this is a relationship. And it's not just romantic relationships, it's partnerships, it's friendships, it's parental, it's boss, employer, sibling, everything. I tried to cover as much as I could in those few pages.
I know when I was reading it, I was like, I need more. It was just like, I need more, and I need a part 2. And I was like,
I don't know about that
anymore.
But
I'm just saying, like, you guys, this book is incredible. It is incredible. The stories that are in there, and like she said, it's not just romantic relationships. It is friendships. It is pastor, even congregational, church type stuff.
You'd be surprised in the church realm.
Man live. And what people don't understand is that every narcissist does not have narcissistic personality disorder, but it is a personality disorder, which is also considered a mental illness.
Yep.
It's not just a behavior that someone puts on. It's not just a mask. It's not just the cloak they wear when they're with you. This is a real legit mental illness. So this is, and I try to give you some clinical. You got the spiritual, you got the relational piece, so that you can see yourself. And if it doesn't apply to you, it'll teach you how to help somebody. I guarantee you will recognize somebody in one of these stories, like, you know what? I think so and so might need some help. Or I'm pretty sure my boss.
Right.
You just slip this into their little mailbox at work, like, you need to read this. You want the page highlighted.
Easy read. How can I get the books? AngelSimmons.com.
Yes, and we'll post that, CJ. We'll post all the information. Where to find Angel and stuff.
And to sidebar on that, if people don't, I know, because some people like myself, I don't like to read. I'm a live action person. You can also watch this wonderful stage play that Angel was in, and she brought me in as well, that was created by Michelle Monet. And that play also dealt with narcissistic behavior and mental illness. Angel had like the lead role in that play, and she had people's mouth like.
Yeah. It was a powerful performance. It was
that was the My Last Party stage production put on by the Reach Project. Michelle Monet Henderson was the writer, producer, script, everything. She did everything. She did everything. But that is a production. Yeah, it touches on mental illness. It touches on domestic violence. It touches on child abuse. It touches on suicide. It touches on so many things. So many things. But whenever you see that production coming, get a ticket. Get a ticket.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Angel, thank you so much for coming on. Can we book you again for when it's Suicide Prevention Month?
Please and thank you.
100%. September, Suicide Prevention Month. So
Awareness Month.
Put it on your calendars now. We're going to bring Angel back for that one. So thank you, Miss Man. Okay, angelsimmons.com. There's where you can find both of the books. Okay, we will post all that information as well. Miss Angel, thank you so much for coming on to the show tonight. We love you. We appreciate you.
Beautiful.
Make sure we have Angela Winbush sing your theme song. Angel.
You knew you were going to get serenaded at some point.
I'm glad it was her and not her friend. My God.
Getting ribs for the holidays.
I think he's asleep tonight. So
I need him to sleep.
He had Jules. I see him with Jules.
All right, Angel. Thank you so much, lady. We love you, and we'll see you. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye,
okay.
Angel.
Bye. Oh man, I love her. She's great. She's great. She's so much fun. And seriously, y'all need to get her books 100%. So knowledgeable. And like I said, for Target of Love, y'all are going to want an extended version, which doesn't exist yet, but I'm hoping I could convince her to make one. But
she probably will. She might have it already published and we don't know about it. But we have another guest.
But we do.
Yeah. So we got to bring these wonderful women on.
Our next one is Jackie Zavala, and she works in healthcare. She's been working in healthcare for almost 20 years, mainly in the mental health as admin support. So let's welcome Jackie Zavala to our show. Hey, Jackie.
There she is.
Oh, there she is. How are you, Jackie? Thank you for being patiently waiting backstage for us to bring you on. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you for joining us. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about what you do in your field.
I manage the outpatient clinic at River Edge Hospital. We have therapy services, medication management, and I manage the whole office there.
Awesome. Yes, I know. I got dropped off a bag of goodies before the show. Hey. So I was just kind of going through some of it, and we got this really cool shout out to River Edge Hospital right there.
Oh, that's nice. What am I sure at, Jackie?
I have one for you too. When I go to your show next week, I'll bring it to you.
All right. I'm a 2X.
Okay. Right. I'll see you at the comedy show.
All right.
So,
good.
Jackie, one of the things I absolutely loved in this bag was there's this card in here, and it's all in Spanish. Because, we touched on our Black community, but we didn't touch on our brown community. And that's why I was waiting, because I saw this in here and I wanted you to speak on that. And, in our brown community, what do you see when in regards to mental health and stuff and maintenance like that?
Well, oftentimes we're raised to keep things private. People don't share and don't talk, and you hold things in. And so with that being said, pretty much it's about communication. Communication is a key. Have a real conversation with your loved ones. If you feel that they are experiencing some challenges, especially with the pandemic and being isolated, have a real conversation. It would be no different as if they had a heart condition or a broken leg. You would say, hey, I think you need some help. Be supportive. It's difficult in these times to talk. So being there for someone and communicating is key.
Mm-hmm. What are the Angel says River Edge Hospital has great certification classes for mental health. So that's also key to know. So in the 20 years that you've been working in this field, what have you, when it comes to the diversity, when it comes to mental health? I mean, it doesn't just affect one ethnicity, it affects everybody. right? But like you said, much like in our Black community, our brown community too, they have to, it's one of those things you don't talk about. You just kind of, sweep it under the rug a little bit, right?
Right.
So
Right.
do you see a lot of patients that come in or have you experienced in your own life, with friends or family?
Yeah, and in the 20 years I've been doing healthcare, I feel like access has been improved. I feel like there's more access now where you can take your loved ones and help your loved ones out at places like River Edge, where there's plenty of resources, not only from patients who may need to be in a program or prefer one-on-one individual, but back in the day, there wasn't a lot of access. You didn't have a lot of options.
Because it was a stigma. It was a stigma. It was so stigmatized. And no, it was like, you don't talk about it, right? And we just said that at least it's improved a lot in the last at least 5 years, right? Where there are more resources. And it's good that people are coming to you and coming to the facility to get that help.
Right. I think the internet's helped a lot as well with having access, but it's basically, let's get the community the help that they need. And that's what we're there for. We've actually seen a spike during the pandemic. I feel like we're busier than we were before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, job security, I say, job security.
Right.
But,
definitely.
Yeah, people are definitely seeking out the services, and that's what we need to do is just get the word out, let them know that you care, that you're there for them, we're there for them. I've dealt with this with my family, and support is very important.
Yeah. Having a support system is definitely super important. I know, we talked about eating disorders a few months ago. I struggled with anorexia. I struggled with it in high school. Then I had a relapse in my mid-20s, and I went into rehab for it. But I actually had family that were second guessing me. Like, are you sure you want to do that? Because, it's going to be on your permanent record, your permanent medical record. Are you sure? And it's like, I'm killing myself by not eating. And if I have the way to get the appropriate help by going into rehab and getting the therapy, I don't care if it's on my I'm not running for politics. And even if I was, 100% of those people have mental health issues anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but when you have family that says that to you, it stings, man. It's like, you're supposed to be my support system. So when you have that support system, especially when it's family, it's like, it makes you feel like $1 million, So with your clinic, is it a free clinic? Is it, insured? Like, how does your clinic work?
Well, we have accessible tele-assessments, so you can actually, and that's the nice thing about the pandemic right now is that you don't even have to show up in person. We can do things over the computer, over Zoom. You can have it a level of care assessment, and you come in, we take all insurances, all the Medicaids, and you can get in right away. So that's, like I said, access is key. You give us a call and we can get you in right away. You have a level of care assessment, and we'll see what type of care we can provide for you.
No,
immediately.
Amazing. That's
same
awesome.
day services. Yeah.
That's awesome. And now where is it located, the clinic?
So we're near First Avenue and Roosevelt Road. It's 8311 West Roosevelt Road in Forest Park. So you have, the 3 hospitals there, and accessible by 290 and First Avenue, but definitely get your loved ones, have a conversation with them, be honest, don't try to give them advice, just tell them that you care. Give them support, bring them down to River Edge, and we'll help them out.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not far from that big mega church that's out there.
You know what? I believe so. Off of Roosevelt, there's a mega church. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Jackie, we got a question. What motivated you to get involved in this field?
Family. Being Latino, we're very family oriented. and I've had experience. That's my joke. My ongoing joke is that my family's giving me experience to work in mental health. lots of experience.
No names. Silencio, Jackie.
No. Shout out to the famo.
Doctor-patient confidentiality there. HIPAA.
Oh,
laws.
HIPAA, that's right.
He would not blow that HIPAA law on Buzzin Cousins.
No, real talk. Family definitely is a source of where I get my strength, I should say, because these times are challenging, and my family gives me a lot of strength. And my mom, basically single mom, 5 kids, raised us to be supportive of each other and of the community. So at a young age, my mom instilled that in us to help each other out and help our communities and our loved ones around us. And I just get a lot of joy from, being able to problem solve and help someone and see them recover, see them get better. They come in, they're down, and then you see them blossom, you see them transform, and that just gives me so much. And that's, what I strive for.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like, in your experience, 20 years is a long time to be in this field, right? So you've seen some shit. We'll just say it, like 20 years, you've seen some shit, right? Yeah. How has that affected you with your mental health? You know what I'm saying? Because there's sometimes where I'm sure you've tried to help somebody and it's just like, they're just not, necessarily there, right. Yeah. So how does that affect you? Mentally.
It does affect you as a caregiver, as a healer. I see myself as a healer, and you tend to absorb their energy. So you do have to do some self-care. You have to make sure you eat right, you sleep, you exercise, vacations, different things that us as healers, and whether you're in healthcare or in any type of avenue that you're a healer, you can't always absorb the energy. You have to have the release.
Right. And that's what I always wonder, because I see my therapist and I always wonder, okay, so we all come and tell you our stuff. Who do you talk to? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, it's nice that you could be the professional to go to and the healer, but then you're carrying all of it. It's like, I don't know if you've seen that cartoon where like this stick figure, he goes and absorbs like all these people negative things, and then he's just bogged down heavy with all this darkness, and then he goes home and sees his dog, and then he's all happy. But I know it takes more than just seeing a dog. But like you got you said vacations, your self-care, your whatever. Now, what kinds of things? Like what kinds of vacation?
Well,
when was the last time you guys went on vacation?
Actually, what's nice that our company before COVID would bring a masseuse to the hospital and give us massages.
Nice.
Amazing. So
that is some serious self-care. Yes.
Yes, it is. So yeah, oftentimes you wonder who heals the healers.
Well, yes, we know that. Yes.
Yeah. No, just different types of, you have to just be mindful, really,
Yeah. Has there ever been a point in your career where you're just like, I can't do this anymore. Like I'm done. Have you ever had that? It's okay. You could be honest.
Yeah, that's part of what comes with working in this field. You might have a little bit of that every day, or some days no, some days yes. It is very challenging, and sometimes you do want to give up, but no, I think that I see those patients, I see my family members, and I think do I want someone treating my family member that way? So I truly see them as family. I see them as somebody who I really care for. Therefore, it keeps me going. It gives me the strength to continue and to strive, and not give up, because there are days when you do want to give up. Right. There's days when you just want to pull your hair out and scream, but I have a very great supportive family at work as well. And they keep us going. So very, very family-like environment that we have.
Oh, that's awesome. And have you been at the same place for the last 20 years, or have you been in other areas too?
I've actually worked in the western suburbs area. I've been at River Edge for over 5 years now.
Okay.
I was with another group, Riverside Psych, and I did dermatology. But mainly in the western suburbs, I've worked at least 2 other mental health clinics as well.
Okay. Yeah. So like those times where you feel like you're gonna like pull your hair out, there's always a positive to make it turn that around. You know what I mean? Like I always say that, like we have all these positives, but then there's that one negative and it just like ruins our whole day. We don't know why we focus on that one negative when we have all these positives going for us, right? So
right.
I get it.
Yeah, and Jessica over here reminded me that she makes me beautiful with her shop, and that's another way I de-stress. Shout out to Cutting Edge Salon over here.
Shout out to Cutting Edge Salon 54 because I don't think I ever spend less than 3 or 4 hours when I go get my hair done with Jess. I don't. I mean, I'm there at least 3 hours, at least minimum. So, because most of the time she like does it and then she talks because she gotta talk with her hands and then she's like, okay, wait. Let's continue with the color. But no, yeah, self-care, taking care of yourself is very important. Caregivers need to also take care of themselves because yes, as Angel pointed out, healers feel all the things. And it goes back to being an empathetic person. Empathetic people just feed off that energy and just, absorb all of that. But that's what makes us the best healers, because we can just give of ourselves and not make it a selfish thing. And that's a great thing that you're doing, Jackie, and so needed, especially now. And I could just imagine with this pandemic, it's just been insane. No pun intended. Well, thank you so much, Jackie. Where can we find you? I know you don't do social medias much, but if there's any information that you want to share with everybody, please do.
Well, yes, I keep my social media to a minimum because I have to be private. But if anyone or your loved ones do need some assistance or you'd like to bring them in, you can go to our website, River Edge Hospital, all one word, riveredgehospital.com, or come over where you have 24-hour walk-in assessments, and let's help out the community.
Awesome. All right. Well, Jackie, thank you again so much for being on the show, and we look forward to having you on again. Perhaps we'll bring you back for Suicide Prevention Month as well. We'll have you and Angel just come back for that as well, and in September. So
that'll be nice.
Thank you, ladies. Thanks for the time.
Jackie.
I appreciate it.
Have a great night.
Jackie.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We love you. Okay.
Bye, Jess.
Whew. All right. Well, y'all, we told you this was going to be a full show, a heavy show. Mental illness is nothing that we can make light of. It's something that's very much an issue. It's more so in the last year, I think, than ever before because of the pandemic and having to be isolated. So we'll make sure that we get everybody's information out there for everybody, so you could have the resources for Jackie or order books from Angel. So we'll make sure we get that all out to you guys. So Cuz, you got anything else, or are we wrapping this down?
Yes, I do. I am going to be a part of R&B Nights.
Oh, that's right. You got to talk about your event. That's next weekend.
Yes, June 5th at Michelle's Ballroom. That's 4800 West Belmont. You need to come. King Prophet and all of you all. Just go to R&B Nights on eventbrite.com. Purchase your tickets. Michelle's Ballroom is a fabulous venue. When I tell you fabulous, it's fabulous. I'll be hosting that along with my niece, comedian Shy Red. And then there's a live band. And the lead singer of that band, Eva Rouet, she is a powerful singer. Along with JD and Miss Patrice and the band. So you guys, please come on out. June 5th, doors open at 7. Showtime is at 8. And that's at Michelle's Ballroom, R&B Nights. Come out there so I can pull your mouth out.
And she'll do it too. But she's not going to do the Megan knees again anytime soon. So don't look for that.
No, I won't drink that much Henny no more.
But rumor has it that Eva Rue might be our special guest next month. So if you want to get a sneak peek of what she's about, go check out the show next weekend. Of course, Cousin T is an excellent hostess. So definitely go and get your tickets for June 5th, which is next Saturday already. We're heading into June.
I know, isn't it something?
Come on, summer. Let's bring it.
Ooh.
Let's bring it. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. I appreciate you sticking it out for this very special episode. And we will definitely be seeing y'all next month. Have a very safe Memorial Day weekend. Don't drink and drive, please. We want to see y'all back here next month. All right.
That's right.
That's
right. Barbecue,
All right.
Barbecue and relax.
Yes, exactly. All right. We love y'all. Mwah. Cousin, I love you. Mwah.
Love you.
All right, y'all. Have a great night. We'll see you next month. Bye.
Good night.